Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chef's Meal, where we talk about whatever and never and everything else in between.
If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but it ain't one.
Welcome to the Chef's Meal. My name is Casey.
My name is Sean, and we're two chefs going on our lives one finished plate at a time.
Where we talk about whatever
and everything in between.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week. Hopefully your Valentine's Day was good. My Valentine's Day was amazing. We actually went out for Valentine's Day, Sean.
Wow.
Not day.
I'm jealous of you.
I know you were busy. But it was oh man, let's just say, so we made reservations for the fondue thing next week or this week.
Okay. All right.
But Caitlin forgot that she's going out on conference this weekend. I booked it for this Saturday. So I have to cancel that. So we went out last week instead. Right?
Okay.
When I say last week, it was Sunday. It was Sunday. No, it was Saturday. And a couple of little adventures for you, Sean, really quickly. Like I mentioned to you, I texted you quite a bit. I couldn't stop playing Overwatch, Sean. I couldn't do it.
New old addiction.
I knew it. Right?
Hello, my familiar friend.
I have a thing for PvP, and I crave it a lot. And Overwatch does it for me like no other game. One, because it's so quick and so intuitive, and you get like different rules. Love it. It was a lot different than when I used to play Call of Duty. That just gave me a rage altogether. The little kids were so good. Pisses you off, and you die in like 2 seconds anyway, right?
Yeah.
So now Overwatch kind of takes place of it. However, you also see it on my screen, right, Sean? See this? Apex Legends.
Apex.
Yo, with the Apex Legends, I've been playing Apex quite a bit. Also, I've been playing it for quite a while. Now I'm just like, oh man, I have the PvP bug. PvP, just for everybody else, player versus player. You're playing like an online game. That's what that means. That's kind of the slang. But Sean, how do you feel about Overwatch? You know what? Let me. I forgot to turn on my light.
Uh-oh. Boom. Mood lighting. Now I'm in the mood. So yeah, man, I feel like I can't say it enough. Overwatch is my favorite game of this generation, and I'm gonna say the generation is 2013 to now, and that game came out in 2016. It's perfect. It literally is perfect, and it's easy to understand. The characters are diverse. The locations are really cool, and yeah, man, I'm looking forward to Overwatch 2. And the cool thing about Overwatch 2 is if you have Overwatch 1, you already have Overwatch 2. They're just gonna upgrade you and for free. And if you want to pay for some of the other story elements, like you can, pay a little fee to upgrade to that. But as far as the core gameplay, you're gonna kind of get everything that's all of the new updates for Overwatch 2 for free. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they are able to do with the characters and the lore, and go from there. Yeah.
So I had to activate my account, Sean. I completely forgot. I was like, oh man, I don't remember my battle account, and I forgot it was a Blizzard thing, right? And hold on, let me see if I can. I just want to show you real quick. So I have, what's it, battle account?
Battle Pass. Battle.net.
Yeah. Is it login? So I used to play not League of Legends, World of Warcraft a long time ago, right, Sean? Okay, perfect. So I changed my name to the main gamer names is Sriracha now. It used to be Steampunk.
Okay.
I had Steampunk for almost almost 11 years, Sean. Still the same email, still the same thing, and here it is. Here's why it was a throwback for me. World of Warcraft 1. Lead Pwn Sauce was my account.
Oh my goodness.
This was 2011. A long time ago. It was a while ago. And you can actually see my starter pass. But this is the second account. This wasn't the first account. This is the first account that I played in. And that was 2009. So I started 2009, played just about 10 years. And if you are why I keep saying these? If you're a World of Warcraft account, you understand what it entails. It's a $60 pass, literally for like, I think it's $10 a month, 6 months. I buy 6 months out at a time. Plus the updates and all that. I downed like 6 years of my life in World of Warcraft, and people thought I was mad. All my friends were like, you're playing way too many video games. Like, who are you talking to online? What is Vent? That's a throwback. Vent is a Ventrilo. Sean, did you know what a Ventrilo is?
Yeah, it was like a chat app, if I'm not mistaken.
It was
right?
Discord.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right back then, my brother was like, yeah, it was Discord, bro. I was like, oh my God, that is right. That's what it is. So for all the gamers out there, just know that it's not completely worthless, but it is worthless.
Yeah, man.
Okay, that's all I got. I'm just gonna take my shame and just yeah, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Sean, did you play any video game that long that it made you feel shame? I mean, I down 6 years into World of Warcraft, Sean. 6 years. One
particular game, no, but I would say probably year to year I play a lot of NBA 2K.
Okay,
like that's if I had to add up all the years wrapped up into one series, it would be that. And I guess, yeah, that would probably be it. That would probably.
2K is a good game. I used to play 2K, and then I just found that I loved RPGs better. I still remember in the arcade, NBA Jam, right?
Yeah, I was playing that the other day.
Oh my goodness, that was the most classic thing. Most classic video game I can think of besides Street Fighter and Tekken in the arcades that I used to play all the time. And NBA Jam was so classic where you can hear it if you use the game, right? He's eating up.
Yeah,
4-3. Oh my God. It was just, it gave me joy. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I always dug it. However, Sean, are we ready for, I should really make this ramp up a little faster, but it kind of gets the build up to where it needs it.
Sean's Tech Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sean's Tech Tuesday.
Sean's Tech Tuesday coming at you on a Tuesday, actually, Sean.
Yeah.
And it's
it's Tuesday somewhere, I guess. Yeah, so welcome to Tech Tuesday. It's a relatively weird week for tech. Obviously, you can't discount the growing impact of the coronavirus on the tech industry. I mean, now most of the big tech companies are changing their financial forecasts for the year as far as production is concerned, because a lot of the bigger electronics manufacturing plants throughout China and some of the big software development houses in China, they've been closed or have significantly reduced staffing levels, why the country continues to deal with the outbreak of the virus.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it is nuts. I mean, it certainly is serious. Yeah, there's no escaping that for this particular week. Hopefully for the tech industry and humanity at large, we kind of get a grip on the virus, and
hopefully we can save some lives. Is that what
save some lives? Save some lives.
I wanted to find a tally. I know it's kind of morbid to say it. I kind of wanted to find a tally of how many said deaths have happened. When it started.
It's weird.
Next to like today on what happened currently, like who died of what today, because I'm pretty sure, because we always throw comparisons, right? Coronavirus spreads widely. Sure, there's a handful of deaths, but it's not as much as the common cold that kills
Sure.
on a daily. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, it's horrible that it is
rough.
a viral disease, but at the same time, I don't think it should warrant that much of a concern. But hey, who am I? Who do I know?
Yeah.
Right? I'm not.
I mean,
I'm not a
the big
doctor.
concern is just figuring out how to treat it. You know, it's like,
true.
you know, people are going to come in contact with other people, and without, you know, treatment, you know, plans, it's like it can get really bad really quickly. You know, one thing I was reading, you know, in relation to the virus last week is that they had to revise their testing methods because they were kind of underreporting how many people were actually contaminated.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when they used a new testing technique, they were finding 30 to 40% more people actually were walking around with the
virus.
With low level symptoms of the virus. And, you know, that could be disastrous, right? You know, that could be very, very disastrous because, you know, they, you know, might be in a position to say, you know, send people away from getting the care that they need or sending people out of quarantine sooner. And then that gives the opportunity for the virus to kind of spread and propagate and mutate out in the wild, you know, and infect more people.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's, you know, and the impact of that is what's caused a lot of the, again, you know, we're coming at this vector from talking about from tech, but, you know, that's what slowing things down considerably, you know? I
mean, that's what tech is, though, right? We're innovating whatever. It doesn't have to be necessarily electronics. It's the science of finding it. So right now we are trying to find the cure for said virus. So that is really tech involved. There's a lot of things going into it. However, I feel that the Asians still should not eat, you know, weird stuff. But hey, you know, it's fine. It's, you know,
it's
being an Asian
interesting
myself.
to kind of see, like, you know, the origins of this disease in particular. But, you know, it just kind of really speaks to, you know, our genetic vulnerabilities, you know?
I do.
I mean, you know, the factors for this thing to kind of blow up and become as dangerous as they are, it could arguably happen in different parts of the world, you know, with different access to different food or water sources. You know, it's just, I don't know. It kind of, to me, shows the real need and impact for medical parity, you know, all around the world, and kind of speaks to, you know, how nations, again, of the world should be working in concert to kind of maintain a base level of care and I would say technological know-how, you know, so that you could ensure that, you know, your population is safe too.
I mean, I think we're fairly safe over here, but however, we did have some cases pop up here in the States. Right. It's just a different. The viruses are so weird. If anyone that, you know, kind of watches all the medical shows, you kind of sort of understand there's a truth and a lie to it. Yeah, most of it is a little more, how do you say it, flamboyant than most. So it gives you a dramatic effect.
Sure.
But for the purpose of a TV show, right? But there is a truth to it because they are trying to correlate it with a physical thing. Or maybe it's completely made up, like House, which is my favorite show.
Yeah, House is ridiculous. I mean, literally, it's like, you come in, you're like, hey, man, I got a scratch in my throat. They're like, yeah, your arm's going to fall off. You're like, wait, what? Like, every episode is the same way.
Yeah. And my favorite was that you have lupus.
Yeah, what? Man, lupus is a real one, man, bro. Like, lupus is a real thing, man.
Lupus is a real thing. We're not trying to make fun of lupus, but just saying that that's how that show was.
Right, friends afflicted by that. But yeah, you know, it's the case. It's just, yeah, I feel like, look, obviously there are going to be diseases and maladies that affect people, you know, and I just feel like, I don't want to make this very political, but we got a responsibility to each other, you know, as people around the world, to make sure that we're diverting the resources that we have to solve real problems.
Yep.
You know,
Definitely
and
Definitely
nothing solves problems better than preventative, care and maintenance. You know, so
it's always a good thing, like in a restaurant, right? We always prevent. We try to prevent. We try to control what we control.
Control what you can control and go from there.
Not boundaries, but set processes.
Yeah, processes and standards. To limit these issues, and just like anything. I mean, you have X amount of resources, right? Like you can say it's money, it's time, it's intelligence. I think like intelligence is definitely a resource that can be limiting, but you still got it. It's still on you to kind of manage those resources to best solve your issues. And I think unfortunately, like the spread of this virus is kind of an indication of that, at least in the mainstream of like, here's a serious issue. There is a disease in which there isn't a cure for that could affect everybody. How do you maintain it? How does it affect things in the short term and in the long term? And I know, like, we started this segment just talking about tech, and can roll into Apple saying, "Oh man, iPhone 12s." I mean,
you think they're gonna go 12? I think they're gonna go 20.
Right?
Was it iPhone X right now? Right.
Right.
It might be like I don't think X1, but it'll be like, it might actually be X1. They won't call it 11.
No.
Or 12. It'll be just like X1. It's a new iPhone X1 because they're just like, silly.
Hey man, we were gonna slap another camera on the back of this thing, but we can't because coronavirus. But it's like it's morose to think about it on on those terms. But it's like, nah, the reason why this progress isn't happening in the expected way is because there's a very human element behind everything. I mean, it's literally what we are and who we are, and you got to dedicate the resources to make better standards of living for everyone around the world. So hopefully, if there's a population of people that is decided that bat meat is something that they want to consume, they're getting some grade A fresh brat meat. Like, who am I to say, man? Who am I to say that's what I'm saying.
Not? Like, who are we to say? It's a different country. It's a different
It's a different culture altogether. So you might prioritize some things in terms of your cuisine that other places might not be able to, just by lack of availability.
Yeah.
So again, if that's what we're going to be out here doing, let's just make sure that they're, caught and raised and cleaned in the right way and served in the right way and distributed in the right ways, so that, someone 20,000 miles away on the other side of the planet, isn't specifically affected by those things, because of some measures that might have been available to keep, some food safe.
Mm-hmm. No, you bring up
because it's literally what it comes down to is just that. Like, we can talk about all sorts of technological innovations, and some of which is what I was gonna kind of get into, but yeah, it comes down to that. Like, I feel like honestly, there's nothing more important right now than that.
No, definitely. If I were so let's play devil advocate, and I'm glad you mentioned it, because like my wife and I were talking, right, and she was like, "Well, you don't know. You came from a different country too. Didn't you eat differently?" I was like, "You know what? I did. I'm sorry. Thanks for the ground check. Right. I completely thought I was American for like 2 seconds.
Hey man, you are.
But but it's just like I used to also eat like that.
Sure.
So to kind of get perspective, if I were still in the Philippines and that was like a delicacy, would I have gone and eaten it? Probably would. I'm not gonna lie to you, because that was culture, right? That was what we would be served. But at the same time, and then the outbreak happens, and you're like, oh crap.
Right.
Then what? So I get it. I totally get it. But it was a cool ground check altogether from the wifey. and she was just like, just know the common flu still kills everybody.
Yeah, and that's it too. You know, just think about, like, again, all the other infectious diseases that spread around and, you know, aren't as sensationalized, right? Like the coronavirus, it literally has a cool name.
It does have a cool name,
right? It's a cool marketable name, you know, and it sounds sexy and evocative, and, you know, but yeah, the flu gets people all the time. Like literally, the flu gets people all the time, and, you know, the same things that could prevent the spread of the flu are some of the same things that would prevent the spread of the coronavirus. You know, it's just, you know, clean washing techniques, you know, and like all those things.
Washing hands.
Like, right, dude. It's like the flu's going to be the flu.
Not triple dipping.
No, we're not getting rid of it. It's going to mutate and it's going to become a different thing. But, you know, the resources have been designed to kind of maintain and track and, you know, develop against it.
Picking up food on the floor, putting it in your mouth. You know, Casey, stop
man.
it.
Dude. When you have a baby,
see me do
Casey,
it
when you have a baby,
times.
you will realize how much that like, there's so many times I'm just like, Brooke, please don't.
Stop.
You just dropped it, and I was like literally going to dive to the floor to get it before she puts it in her mouth. And she's like, what?
Yeah, my grandfather always used to say, "Oh, he's fine. It's cool." Did you know? Okay, real quick. Quick tangent. Okay. I know we're trying to get into my grandfather. God rest his soul. He's a pure believer of, especially with kids, because he had 5, right? I had 5 aunts, four aunts and uncles, besides my mother. And he was like, at a certain point, he's like, to my grandmother, just let them do it. Just let them do it. They will learn. They're babies. They're quick. That's what they do. And the story for me is, and my mother doesn't listen to this podcast, but if she does, she will get a crack out of it. My grandfather said, you know, at one point you did try to touch the socket.
Sure.
And I let you. Okay. Before we get complaints, the voltage in the Philippines is a lot lower than here in the States. Okay. We don't run 240 volts on the sockets. It's completely lower, and you do get a little zap. And I did get a zap. And every time that I did, after I've experienced it as a baby, he said to me, you would then look at the socket that you touched and you were like this. You would go like that. Because you understood it as a baby. Right? But when it comes to consumable food, do not. That's like the one thing you don't want to experience, because it's that's a different process altogether. You could die really, really. I mean, I could have died too, but it's a different. But anyway, I don't know why I told you that, but I got shocked when I was younger, Sean. That's probably why.
Life current is not fun.
I'm sorry. Keep on going. My bad.
Sure.
I just wanted to tell you that I got shocked and I was proud of it. And it's probably the wires in my head don't work as good. It's one of those things.
Oh my goodness, Casey. Oh man. So I guess let me wrap back around to some of the Tech Tuesday stories that did stand out in my mind. Google's continuing to try with their Stadia project. For those of you who don't know, Google Stadia released a couple of months ago to very, very little fanfare.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was a good idea, a gaming streaming platform that requires, at least right now, a special. Yeah, you can bring it up right there. Okay. A special version of the Google Chromecast Ultra and one of Google's special controllers. And pretty much the way it works is the Chromecast and the controller connect to one of Google's high-powered cloud computers. And instead of playing a game on something in your house specifically, you're connecting over the internet to their data infrastructure, to play some high-powered PC games. it's a cheap way to get access to some real power. And it kind of came out with a thud. And
I mean, where was it for 129? I mean, it's not bad. If it really did
129. It came with the controller. It came with a copy of Destiny 2 and the Chromecast Ultra. And I mean, the problem was not necessarily like the tech, because the tech seemed to work. The problem was just the lineup of games was old. You know, and if you're trying to kind of get to the early adopters are the hardcore gamers. Like, they pretty much all had those games already. Yeah. You know, and they also face competition, from competing services like Sony's current PlayStation Now and Nvidia's GeForce Now. Yeah. And future competition from Microsoft's, which is in currently beta, their Project X Cloud. Yeah.
This is a lot of competition, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of competition, and also competition in spaces in which hardcore game players probably already have invested in the infrastructure. Like, I have an Xbox, and when Project X Cloud comes out, my library will just work with that. Yep. I have a PlayStation, and I've used PlayStation Now, and it works awesome. It's like it's damn near close to having a machine in my house. Yep. And I don't currently use GeForce Now, but I've been looking into it again as a way to kind of get access to high-powered PC games on the PC hardware that I have. And again, Google, they invested a lot of money and time, and in the last couple of days, they've kind of tried to relaunch the product. They're opening up the service, because before it only worked on a Chromecast Ultra, and specifically one that came with it
was like a package thing.
It was like a package deal. Thing. Yes. Even though it's functionally identical to the existing Chromecast Ultra, which is confusing. Right now they only want it to be supported with the one that comes with the controller. And it also worked on a Google Pixel phone as well. Yep. So now, as of this week, they're opening it up to other high-end Android phones, and as a way to kind of get the product out to other people. And
also, the Stadia Pro subscription is $10 a month. So eventually,
right? So yeah, for your $10 a month, you get access. So I think for free, or quote unquote for free, if you just had the hardware, you get access to the games at 1080p. And if you're paying for your Pro subscription, you get access to 4K 60. Yeah. And you also get like a game or so, a free game every once in a while. And even again, those free games I think have been Destiny 2, Samurai Showdown. Yeah. Red Dead. Again, Red. Well, yeah. I don't think Red Dead was one of the free ones, but that's one of the the premier games. And it's just again, it's like if you're a hardcore gamer, like I would say you are, and I am, like if you don't own those games, you've definitely had access to those games. Yeah. I mean, Destiny 2 is almost free to pay right now. And
it's free to pay to begin with.
Right.
After like the second year, they just stopped.
They made it free. So again, amazing. If you wanted to play that game, you could already. But, Google's a big, powerful company. And, the tech behind that platform is really, really cool. I mean, it's for video games right now, but in the future, I mean, you could have access to their high-powered cloud for very little investment, to do work on.
I feel that the way they're marketing is smart, and especially for this photo. So let me just bring it back. The reason I said it, Sean, this specific photo right here with your phone, I think is really crucial. I say that because, so I've been streaming quite a bit on my channel, on Twitch and stuff. And I always ask the people, because they, every time, it's almost, I can almost feel it now. And I know why. They're like, hey, the stream, I can't see the codes or whatever. So I play Pokemon on stream, and I send out codes via the stream. Okay. However, they have a hard time seeing it because they are they're viewing the stream on their phones. Sean.
Gotcha.
So the phone integration with current gamers is it's a thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's huge.
I mean, most people, it's going to be the best quality screen they have access to.
Mhm.
They always have it in their pocket,
Yep.
and it's a bit uncommon for the average person to carry another controller around with them.
Mhm.
But I think if you already have the phone with you, you might.
Yeah.
You
No,
might if you have a compelling reason to do it. You would.
Most controllers are on like $10, $10.
Yeah. I mean, again,
used,
like
if that.
Stadia, as of right now, only supports their own controller, but they have shown that you could use if you're using a Bluetooth Xbox or a Bluetooth PlayStation controller, it would work with their servers too. So the barrier to entry is they got the idea of giving you a high quality experience with either the technology you have or a relatively lower initial investment down. Yeah. They just need to make the compelling. They need to make the product compelling by offering stuff that you can't get elsewhere.
Yeah, I think they will get there. Google's pretty massive, so they will.
Hopefully they stick with it. Hopefully they stick with it because they also, despite the fact that Google is massive, they do have a big track record of coming out with innovative products and then abandoning them because they don't necessarily need the revenue behind it. Right? Yeah. They can afford to fail. That's a good position to kind of be in. But it kind of sucks if you've invested in some of their services, as a way to get your stuff done. Yeah. I mean, I would not be happy. Let's say if in a year they decide to just shutter Stadia and I put my $120 down.
I got you. I'm with you. However, they could not in the terms of abandoning it, or maybe somebody have bought said tech. That could happen too. It happens quite a bit. They're like, okay, we're abandoning it. You guys want to roll with it? Absolutely. Here's the rights. Here's the copyright, etc. Blah blah. You guys roll with it. So they could essentially do the same thing. Because the iteration of the Pixel phone, if you can remember, I forget what the physical first phone was. It wasn't called a Pixel. Was it called a Pixel on Google?
I think their first one was first. They've been doing the Pixel line, but they didn't. I think the difference is the manufacturing was done by a different company than it was now. So I think it was all HTC, and I'm not 100% sure who does it right now, but I don't think it's HTC.
I don't think so either. But from what I can remember, it wasn't. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Granted, I can look it up, but we can go for another day. But the original, from what I can remember, the original Google phone, this is just Google. Mm-hmm. It's a Google phone, and everybody made fun of it. And then now it's one of the forerunners for the phone. I absolutely love this thing. I'm not until it physically breaks. I'm gonna have this phone for a while.
And that's exactly why they want to be in a position to sell you, on a subscription service, because that's it, right? People hold on to their phones longer. They're infinitely more capable. I mean, just think you could, with a cable or with a Chromecast, you could push high quality video from your phone to a television. So it's you have the console right there. If you got a data connection, which you do, or, in the future when everyone has a 5G connection, you're going to get the high speed, low latency that's going to be required to, play games or, and I think right now they're just using video games as a high data use case, but it's really, really interesting. I just wish that this thing was getting the traction it probably should, at least from a technology perspective. But just like anything, if you're going to put a product in front of people, you got to explain to them why they should be spending their money with you. And thus far, they've yet to actually do that in a way that distinguishes themselves from their immediate competitors. Mm-hmm. Again, it's 3 months in. I'm a gamer. I'm watching. Yeah. I want them to be able to honestly sell me one of those things, and because I don't know. I just think I don't want to always have to spend $2,000 on quality gaming computer, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you do every 10 years.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what if I didn't? You know, what if the Google says we'll make the computing upgrades for you, and you give us, I don't know, $10 a month. I mean, yeah, sure. If you did the math, it probably works out to be about the same. But you know, I'm always, for my $10, in theory, I'm getting access to the best computing power that they can provide at that price.
Best bang for your buck.
Best bang for your buck, in theory. So get with it, Google.
Google Stadia, get with it. If you guys want to send us another Pixel phone, I would absolutely love it.
Yeah, sure, I'll take one. Look, man, I use an iPhone, but I'm not married to it. You know?
I'm not. I thought I was married to iPhone, Sean. I thought I was married to it.
Sell me an iPhone.
And then I broke off the engagement. I was like, nope, I'm sorry. It's not working out.
You know, hook me up with a Pixel. I will definitely use it and offer my real feedback, which
it's nice and snappy. Snapdragon 840, 820?
Yeah, I see what you guys got over there.
I forget which one it was. But now they're up to 845, I think. The newest Snapdragon things are. But anyway, do we have a couple more, Sean? Or are we...
Yeah, I mean, the last story that I have here. All right. This is from CNET. CNET reports mysterious looping space signal could be aliens, says Harvard scientists. Astronomers detected a powerful radio signal from across the cosmos in a weird pattern.
Ooh.
A Harvard professor says ET is on the table of possible explanations.
I mean, I'm down.
Yeah, man, I'm down too. You know, I obviously, you know, growing up, when we grow up, we have a lot of science fiction that kind of romanticizes how extraterrestrials will eventually get in contact with, you know, our the beings on our planet. And hey, man, if it's some looping radio signals and it's for us to figure out, cool, let's go with that. I
always revert back to Men in Black. It's like one of my favorite movie. I think it's my favorite movie of all time for some reason. But like anything revolving any kind of alien thing, I always immediately revert back to that. So it's always, when you said ET, I immediately thought, if you can remember in the movie, those little bug ones that spoke like Jamaicans.
Yes.
I forget what it was. I immediately thought of those guys because I have no idea why. But yeah, low key those guys. I forget what they're called. I'll find them out.
Yeah, man. I think it's infinitely interesting that this could, you know, this is a potential theory. I mean, sure, like if you read on to the rest of the article, I mean, they also speculate it could just be some cosmic radiation, you know, that, you know, our equipment is kind of picking up. But, you know, the thing that makes this kind of stand out against other radio noise that kind of just happens in the cosmos is that, you know, it is regular and repeatable. So it kind of would indicate some sort of intelligent design behind the signaling. You know, who knows?
It's like it's the what if.
The what if, man. It'd be cool if it's intentional, you know?
It would be cool if it's intentional.
Or we'll find out,
cool
like,
if those little things pop up.
some alien on the other side of the cosmos just left their Wi-Fi router settings open.
That's probably what it was, right? They're like, my 20G giganet internet is just freaking.
I can't figure it out.
Just hold on, I'm just lagging. Right. That's what it was. So I can't go through this, 40,000 kilobit per second kind of thing right now. A megabit per second rather, not kilobit. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man. It is amazing, man. I mean,
cool.
We should do an alien themed Tech Tuesday. You know what? I'm gonna compile some stories, and we're gonna do that because, like, I thought one of the coolest stories of like last year was, I don't know, the U.S. Military kind of confirming extraterrestrials. Like that happened, and
it happened.
It was in like the New York Times like twice,
Yeah,
and
man.
this should have been, I don't know, the biggest story of the last 100 years at the very least, and I hear no one talking about it. So maybe we'll shed some light on that. Again, I'm just like,
I can run some memes back from 2019 of the people trying to storm the area.
Area 51, that happened too. They're just like,
that all happened as soon as they.
And I like they dissuade all those people. They're just like, don't come here. We don't have bathrooms. How will you get home? Who's gonna sell you water? It's the desert. And everyone was like, yeah man, that seems really uncomfortable. I guess we'll not do this. It's a military base. You will get shot. Don't climb a fence. That's why we have fences.
It's a military base. Yeah. Right. Some people don't. Oh my god!
Right. It's not like Call of Duty. If you get shot, you don't just pop back up.
Yeah, you're fine. Oh my goodness, the rubber bullets.
Yeah, really. Right. It's like, yeah, nah, man. We shoot to kill over here. We got real secrets we're protecting over here. Right. We didn't get to Area 51 by mistake. There was 50 revisions before this.
No, definitely. I think we should do it.
Yeah. Well,
future events. I think
special themed Tech Tuesday around wacky alien stuff. But yeah, man. Keep plugging away, Harvard scientists. Hopefully you can make more sense of these cosmic radio transmissions.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully it's something, not just a Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it would also be really funny. Yeah, again, if it's just like a loose LAN cable in like the next room.
Oh my goodness, that's imagine
if
throwing
a false positive.
Like the USBC cable just kind of
just slightly disconnected. Goodness. You know, it works. It works like our Skype setup.
Shout out to the Skype setup. Here's the thing. I love Skype. Skype is like Tech Tuesday. It's like the best format to get video up, right? Mm-hmm. And I completely dig it, but it's just sometimes, or should I say, most of the time, their tech keeps on resetting everything. Why on a weekly basis? But anyway, Sean, I want to, before we do wrap up Tech Tuesday.
Okay.
So I completely forgot to do this. I bought 3200 megabit RAM.
Oh snap! Right? Look at you.
A megahertz RAM.
That's
what I purchased initially.
Okay.
Right? I wanted the 3600.
Okay.
But it was not in the budget, or rather, I couldn't find it on the cheap, so I went with a 3200 instead. 32 gigs, so two 16 gig sticks is what I'm running with. However, I know, or let me just preface this. I did not correct it in the BIOS.
Okay. Yeah, you got to do that.
So the whole time, out of this entire, I don't know, 8-9 months now.
Yeah.
I was watching another. I think it wasn't Linus. It's one of the other
like tech YouTubers,
the tech channels. Yeah. And they're like, steps to do whatever. So I just had it on the background while I was doing work on this screen because I have dual screens. And I over here, it's like, make sure you check on your BIOS to clock correctly what your RAM is.
Correct.
And I'm like, what? I was like, hold up.
Yeah.
And I clicked for a second, reset right away, went into the BIOS, and I'm like,
what was it set to?
24.
Okay. Yeah,
I was missing almost 1,000.
Yeah. That happens. Yeah, you gotta check. Look,
completely forgot.
To everyone involved. When you're building a computer, you gotta check your BIOS to make sure you're getting the speeds of the stuff that you're paying for. I mean, and the reason why that out of the box it was not gonna be set to 32 is because 24 gigahertz, or rather, is it's gonna run slower, but it's gonna run more stable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's why you gotta check.
In theory, I mean, if you have RAM that's rated for 32, if you run at 32, it also should be stable. But out of the box, they know for sure, by underclocking the hardware, it should run a bit more stable. So you got to get in there and do that. I mean, back in the day, you had to do that for your CPU as well. Like, check your jumpers and check your timings to make sure that everything was running at the right speed.
While I was at the BIOS, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to check everything else. Let's do it. Went through the fans.
Okay.
Those were fine. I set the big one rather, on the CPU. I put that on turbo. I checked the CPU. Everything was running fine. I checked literally everything else. It was just I forgot to do the RAM. I completely forgot to do it. So for any future builders out there, once you have checked everything, installed everything on your computer, go to your BIOS one more time. Specifically for the RAM speed and maybe your NVMEs are not working properly.
Sure.
Just check it. That's literally all it takes.
Did you run any benchmarks after doing that to see if you saw any appreciable changes?
I did. So I did another 10-minute Premiere Pro render because that's the best way for me to kind of
that's real work for you.
Real work for me. So usually a 10-minute video on 1080p would take me 4 minutes. Now that I clocked it to 3200, it shaved it down to just about 3.
See, okay, that
was a lot.
Makes
it
that
quite a
that
bit.
scales. That scales. Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right.
I can only imagine the people that have 3600. That's like the most intense one. However, I don't think I'm completely fine with 3200.
Yeah.
If anything, I told you this before. I need a new cooler fan because I don't think it's not pumping enough air and flow. So I'm actually gonna purchase not a water cooled one, but it's like
a liquid cooling block. Yeah, I saw your thing.
Yeah.
I was talking to one of my coworkers about because he's also a system builder, and we were talking about the original water cooling blocks and how messy they used to be, and now again, like you can just go to Newegg or Amazon or Micro Center and just buy a block that you can literally bolt on, and it's gonna pretty much work stable.
That is it. Imagine having to fondle with the wire, not the wires, but the tubes, make sure all the fittings are right, and can you just imagine if none of those or one of those is not fully set and all the water just shoots out into your motherboard.
Just immediately ruins your thing. That's what always scared me about using them back in the day. And people were like, "Oh, could you build me a computer with a water cooler?" I'm like, I am not Dell. I'm not Alienware. I can't afford for this thing to break on you.
Yeah.
Like I can't afford for that. So if you want something like that, you're gonna have to go with one of those boutique builders who can give you a real warranty. It's like, nah, man. If a fan breaks, I can replace a fan.
Yeah.
But
a fan or even like the power supply. Cool. That's not a biggie. But if it's an actual physical, like I was sweating bullets when I was building it. Imagine if one of my sweat drops into the physical.
Sure. And that's just your sweat, not some liquid, because it's not even, they say it's water cooling, but it's not water. No, it's right. Obviously it's got to be a different liquid with better thermal dissipating properties. But
it's like
that
a coolant.
Yes. For all intents and purposes, it's the uninitiated, it's like antifreeze for your computer.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
So if that would have
switch to that, I think.
If that spilled on your stuff, back in the day, it would be disastrous. But
I don't know.
Lots of tech
I
uses
feel
I
just feel like it's performing fine, but I can see the temperature spiking a little too not heavy. But when I'm rendering the 4K footages, then it's just like I feel the system really doing its thing, and it's not hovering where I want it. I want it to hover lower.
Sure.
And I know that my cooler is not the best one because this is like the budget one. So since I'm running the 9900K, I need looking at actual specs from Linus, because he was mentioning it runs hotter than any of the other CPUs currently. So I need a little more cooling power per se. Granted, I can attach another fan into the other side of the said cooler, but I don't think that's enough because it's not even. It's only like a 10 mil fan on the physical thing. This one will be just liquid cooled, smacked to the top, and that gives me 2 more 12 millimeter fans, a lot bigger, a lot more intake. So I know, not too crazy. I learned all this from reading, Sean.
Yeah, man.
Reading is fun.
My
wife says I don't read.
Like, it's funny. It's like, but I feel like we do read. We just read about the stuff you want to read about. Like, there's more information on everything than there ever was every day. Billions and billions of, pages of text are just being presented for you to potentially read. And I don't know. I just feel like it's easier to be a geek. And I'll use that in a pejorative, but like, it's easy to be really, really super knowledgeable about whatever it is, because that information is out there. So, man. It's dope.
Nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy.
That is our Tech Tuesday.
That's Tech Tuesday for you guys.
You by Sean. Yo, Sean, that was a badass Tech Tuesday, yo.
Yeah, man.
Not too crazy. You can check us out on Chef Salty Pork Podcast on YouTube right here. You can check out Sean at MetroCardX
right there
on Twitter. Any questions at all? Also AskChefSalty@gmail.com. Nothing else. We are coming at you. What's the next one? Hold on. I'm looking at the President's Day. Oh, we'll talk on the next pod. President's Day was yesterday. That was a fun event, right? But the next physical big event is Daylight Savings Day and St. Patrick's Day. Coming up in March. But other than that, Sean, you wanna give them away with I don't know, like a snappy tech saying or whatever.
What am I gonna say? Double check your power supply. Double check your power supply. Make sure everything is plugged in the right way before you hit that big power button, because then that's when you're committed. That's a lesson for life.
That is
double and triple check before you hop all the way in.
Cool. Now, guys.
Peace out, internet.